Hello everyone and welcome to another approach tutorial. Thank you for joining me today. Today the flight is going to be a very fictional flight, as I couldn't find any real counterparts of this flight in real life. Now the flight is from my hometown Genova once again, and we're going to be heading to Lugano up in the Italian part of Switzerland in Canton Ticino. The very short flight starting here from the coast of the Mediterranean, Genoa, to Lugano, here literally in this little corner of Switzerland. And very, very short, we just need to fly over these, the Maritime Alps here in Liguria, so hence why you see this weird procedure. That's just to clear terrain, as the mountains, I believe they climb very quickly up to about, definitely at least 3,000 feet. And from there then we'll keep heading north, and we'll get to Lugano. Lugano is a small airport with a very short runway. I believe the runway, let's see, Lugano. The runway is 1,400 meters. So really, really short. Definitely doable with an A319. Now I couldn't find any videos online or any documents that said that the A319 would fly in there. I've seen a few stream of people taking even 737, so it's definitely not a problem getting in there, and it's quite fun, and it's absolutely beautiful, the scenery out there. We'll do a couple of different approaches. I wanted to do the a visual. Now the approaches available are mainly two. There is an IGS, so like an ILS, but it's exceptionally steep. So the glide slope is 6.65 degrees. And so what I've seen somebody doing on a video that was from Dutch Pilot Girl, and that was sort of this approach, but instead of taking it from here, from the IGS aligned with the runway, it was taken here in between these two mountains, so on top of the lake. That allowed to do a very similar approach, but starting from 4,000 instead of 6,000, so have a much less steep approach. Okay, so we're gonna do that first. Then we're gonna look at we're gonna do a go around. So a missed approach, fly the missed approach, go around, come back, and then we're going to do the localizer 01. This one is less steep. We'll do it actually as it should be flown because it is less steep. It goes only down to minimums for the circling, so it doesn't go down as steep. It's only 4.4, which is still fairly steep, but a lot more doable. And after that, we'll try the circle to land, the Foxtrot circle to land with, and of course this one is prescribed flight track, so there's a procedure over here that we'll see. I found it really a lot of fun to fly it. The terrain is fantastic. Orthos, not phenomenal, as is very patchy, the color of the orthos around both Google and Bing, but still is a stunning place, an absolutely stunning place. It's very challenging, of course, only 1,400 meters of runway. So let's, without further ado, let's get going. Prepare the aircraft. We're in a cold and dark A319. I just loaded an Edelweiss livery just because we're flying to Switzerland, but once again, I couldn't find any real world flights to this to Lugano. Now let's get going quickly. Let's do our preliminary checks. So engine masters are off, mode selectors are normal, weather radar, everything is off, gear is down, and the wipers are off. The battery is at least 25.5, so we can turn battery 1 and 2 on, and we're powering up. External power comes on. And we're good. Now the A319 we are on today is the latest update. I believe it's the 1.6 that is just came out. So it has a few new bells and whistles, and I'm not quite sure we're going to be using any of them, but I will look at that pilot store. You have already the store routes, runways, waypoints. That is brilliant. So we have especially the custom waypoints. That's this new fantastic feature that we have. I don't need any of that, so we can delete everything. Well, we'll see if we spot any of the new function as we go through. Now this monitors the test this, so we can do our APU fire test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 indications, and we're good. Now let's go down here and we check the door page. Oxygen is in the green, hydraulic fuel is topped up, you can see the line is at the top, and the oil is 22, so we need 9.5 plus 1/3 of a quart per hour. Today we're going to be flying literally half an hour, so that's plenty. So that's all good. Accumulator pressure here for the brake is in the green. We can check that the parking brake is set. It says on the ECAM. Here we have the pressure displayed and the parking brake handle is on. So that's all good. Flaps are 0, the handle, and it shows 0 on the ECAM, and the spoilers are retracted and disarmed. So we can start with the overhead. Cruise oxygen supply on, ground control auto. We'll test the CVR recorder. Here depends on the airline, is either up or down, captain and purser, or only captain. We can start aligning the IRS 1, 2, and 3. Lights, strobe auto, nav 1, seatbelts on, smoking to auto, and emergency exit lights to arm. Landing elevation is at 12 o'clock, cross bleed is on auto. Pack flow is low. Today we're very low on packs. Actually, let's load already, because the procedure for the circle to land has a maximum speed of 130, so technically it will be only Cat A or B of aircrafts. It's not doable with Cat C, but below a certain speed it can be done with Cat C, so that's the case of the A319. I'm not entirely sure of the legality of the thing, of the feasibility in reality, but for what it says on the approach chart, we technically can do it today. So we have only around 70 packs, I believe. So zero fuel weight 47.8. Yeah, 70 packs. It's COVID time, so it could be. Now block fuel is going to be for 5.5. And we load that. Perfect. Now continue over here. We leave the fuel pumps off until we switch to APU power. On the right, there's no white lights. Everything is distinguished up on the maintenance panel as well, and the auto switching is on normal. Turn the lights on. Let's go on to the center panel. Let's just check our 80s. Just want to test something. Somebody said that I can listen to Active Sky by tuning on 122.0.
Lima, India, Mike, Juliet,
I think that I did not know. Fantastic.
150 Zulu weather wind 117 at 15 visibility 10,000 sky condition few clouds at 2,000 4,000 scattered temperature 16 dew point 12 QNH 1012 Visa Lima India Mike Juliet airport information Golf 15
QNH 1012. Fantastic.
121 at.
Okay, QNH is correct. The altitude shown here is 20 feet and we're at 13 at Genova, so that's correct. Landing gear is down, anti-skid is nose wheel steering is on. Radio, we have VHF 1, transmit and receive, everything else is okay. Multi-scan goes to auto, GCS auto with tilt up to 5. Cockpit door on normal. All the switching here is on normal. Thrust lever 0. So idle, engine masters are off, mode selector normal, rudder trim is 0, parking brake is on, and gravity carrier extension door is stored. We'll turn altitude reporting on, tilt the TCAS above, and we are done with this part of the cockpit preparation up to the MCDU setup. So let's set up the MCDU, bring up everything we need. And voila, put the ND on plan and 20, that's correct. Now we're on A319, 100 engines, i.e. no mistake. CFM, Edelweiss flies CFM as far as I'm aware. Database is current. Let's load the init page. This one has changed. There's no low button anymore. Do we need to type it? Let's see. LimJ Lima Sierra Zulu Alpha 01. Okay, oh, that's all changed with a new update. Perfect. Genova. Lovely, nice. Okay, I guess more true to the real Mech 2. Alternate is EDDF. Flight number is going to be Edelweiss 358, so that's my date of birth. That's why it's always that. It's totally fictional. Cost index is 34. And cruise level 260. There we have aligned the IRS. And let's go on the flight plan. So from Genova, the departure is going to be from runway 28. And let's see what the seat is. The Gen 7 Kilo. Transition none. Insert. Yeah, that looks alright. And then in Lugano, we're going to load the arrival, the IGS. Again, that's been implemented just as of this new release. If you don't have the IGS available in Lugano, it means you haven't updated the Toliss A319 to the latest iteration, let's say, so the latest patch. And that's just been implemented now. We go IGS, and the star is going to be the Vogel Vox 6 Lima. No via, no transition. Insert. Perfect. Yeah, that's all. Oh, fantastic! All these altitudes already are there on the plan before putting the performance, so we can see all the constraints, and that's again part of the new patch. We can see the constraints before we input the performance and everything else. That's absolutely beautiful. Okay, then we're gonna modify that one once we are on our way to parallel this one and not actually start a Pinnacle, but we'll worry about that in a second. Now, secondary flight plan, copy active as usual. Let's go. Coming back after Exito, we do a lateral revision. We come back to Lima India Mike Juliet, and then we select our arrival to ILS 28. No star, no via, no transition. Insert. Let's do the performance here. Approach, we said QNH was 1012. Temperature of 16. And winds 120 at 12. The MDA for the ILS 28 is, let's load the charts we need already. Airport. Departure Gen 7K. And the MDA for the approach is 788. For the go around, thrust reduction acceleration is going to be 1000 above, so 1010. And engine out acceleration is the missed approach altitude, so 3000. Perfect. Secondary plan is all completed. We don't need this chart anymore. After the secondary, we follow our usual diff strip. So rat nav. Oh, finally, these are not pre-tuned anymore, so that must have been fixed with the patch. Init B, let's go here and check the critical data entry. So 47.8 is the zero fuel weight, and the zero fuel weight CG is 28.0. Block fuel 5.5, 5.5 is there, and it's loaded. Let's adjust these figures in blue. So the contingency is 672, so 0.7, and we put it there. Diversion is 2.4. You can see alternate here, so that's 2.4, and then the final reserve is, let's see, decimal 9, and that leaves us with an extra 100 kilos, so that's perfect, spot on. Okay, that's all good for the init B page, and then we'll do a proc page. We'll put again Genova 28 in case we need to come back, and then we finish with the perf page. It's gonna be departure. Flaps 1 is 3,000 meters, so flaps 1 is more than enough. We're gonna do flex temp 66, flaps 1, engine out acceleration we set is 1010, and the speeds are 126, 126, and 129. Thrust reduction and acceleration once again 1010, 1010. Perfect. That's all loaded. So we've just finished up here. 1012 on both sides. We leave arc 10 and arc 40 on this side. We're gonna need constraints. Speed is dashed, heading is dashed, and altitude. See if there's an initial altitude. Transition altitude 7,000. MSA is 8,300 where we're going. Westbound and northbound is flight level 90, so let's just put directly 90 in there. Okay, at this point the cockpit preparation is all done, so we would be asking for clearance. Once we get our clearance, let's put this squawk. There we go, and then we can start the APU. And when the APU is started, we can do a quick briefing. So today we will be flying from Genova to Lugano. Threats today, well, mainly terrain, so we need to monitor the departure accurately. It's quite complicated here. Need to make sure that we reach all the assigned altitudes, minimum altitudes, and we are careful with terrain over here. Now, in terms of weather, it's a relatively good weather, so we said the wind 120 at 12 knots, and no particular idea why SimBrief would have given us runway 28. I should have spotted that when I put the performance for the coming back. It's now where we need to change 12 knots. Not good. Okay, let's change the plan. Let's see if we depart from runway 10. The departure is the same because we've seen, yeah, it comes from both sides, so it's not too much trouble. So flight plan, depart from runway 10, and then Gen 7 kilo. Okay, that makes sense. We just need to input the performance once again, which is the same runway, just the other way around. So flaps 1, temperature 66, and then 126, 126, and 129. Okay, yeah, that's all good. I'm not gonna change the second flight plan. We leave as it is to save a minute or two. Now, perfect. So as we were saying, the weather is good. 120 at 12 knots. So a little bit of wind from the right on departure. So little left rather there. For the rest, visibility is all good. So that's no concern. We are today parked at standard 303. We're gonna take off from runway 10. So we push back facing south, and then we'll taxi via Echo 1, and then all the way down to Alpha to Bravo for runway 10, 2,900 meters, so standard departure flaps 1. And we are going to be, let's check data. Oh, that's nice. There's different pages here. Wow, that's a lot of new things there. Beautiful. Now, anyway, we're looking for aircraft status here. So we're going to be flying an A319-100. CFM engines, database is current. On the page, we have everything correct. So Genova to Lugano. We're going to be Edelweiss 358 climbing, cruising at a flight level of 260. Departing from runway 10 on the Gen 7 kilo departure that we have the chart loaded here. We're going to climb right turn maximum 185. Let's see if that's coded. Yeah, says 03. That's coded to the constraint. We can see it there. Why is not letting me? There's a lot of new things on this batch. Anyway, 185, so we'll make sure we respect that. We can even put it onto the performance page. Let's go on the climb. And we have managed already 185 there, so the constraint is considered. We can also put it pre-selected, just to make sure we don't pass that. So we're going to be at 185, we're going to climb Exit, we need to be above 4,500, and we'll be potentially already 18,000 there. That's a steep climb. Okay, distance is 146, and the plan says 149, time 30 minutes against 28, that's correct. Right nav is auto-tuned. Progress page, we could fly to 390, but it's a short flight, so we'll take 260 maximum. Performance, runway 10 full shift, flaps 1, and the speeds are going to be 126, 126, 129, with a clean of 193. F speed is 139, so we should be low enough to do that circle to land once we arrive. Fuel prediction, estimating 4.1, and the plan says 4.0, so we're good. And second for the plan, we've entered coming back. So that is all good. We can now turn the APU bleed on, external power goes off, fuel pumps can go on. Let's do a before start checklist. There we go, cockpit preparation is completed. Power F is 1012 on both sides, and we're showing the correct altitude. ACAS initialized, parking brake is on, fuel on board is 5.5 and balanced. NEP has been loaded, flex temp is 66, and speeds are 126, 126, 129, and clean 193. Before start checklist to the line complete. We will get the start clearance now from air traffic control, ask for pushback and start. Assume we will receive that, we turn the beacon on. Cockpit door goes to lock. Transponder to exponder, we're showing TICA standby. and we are good to push back. So below the line, before start checklist, signs on and auto, and we see on the ECAM, seatbelts and no smoking. Beacon is on, ATC is on exponder with TCA standby on ECAM, nose we still in disconnect. We will have it if we remember to call
Please show me where you want to go.
better pushback.
Toliss driving up.
We just need to wait a minute for better pushback to connect.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect. So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Perfect, we now have nose wheel still in disconnect. On the ECAM, windows and doors are closed and the flight deck door is locked. There we are, before start checklist complete. We can start our pushback. Release the parking brake.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
So mode selector goes to ignition. Check that we have bleed pressure and we have 40. So we can start engine number 2 first. Engine number 2. Coming up. N2 is rising. We're pushing back so we can start the block timer. At 23 we should have fuel flow. Yeah, fuel flow, EGT is rising. There we are, we heard the power transfer. We have now variable, so good start for engine number 2, and we start engine number 1.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Good start on engine number 1. We had power transfer. I believe the vibrations here are new. I don't think I've ever noticed that. That's phenomenal. Toliss has really come a long way. It's becoming seriously good now. Okay, both engines are started, so we can start the chrono to check the warm-up. We are on CO engine, so there's a 5 minutes minimum warm-up time from a cold and dark if we haven't flown in the last 2 hours.
So it's disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
And there we are, there's the pin. Perfect. Now, after start checklist, ground crew clearance has been seen. Well, first maybe we need to do that procedure. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. So mode selector to normal. APU bleed off, anti-ice not needed. APU off. Spoiler armed. Rudder trim is 0. Stabilizer trim is 29.4. Around about there. Flaps are going to be 1. And we're good. So anti-ice off, flaps 1 plus F green and 1 blue. And APU is off, yellow electric pump is off, and ECA status is checked after start checklist complete. We can start pushback. Request pushback from ATC from ground, and once we get that, turn off and nose slide to taxi. Release the brake. Clear left, clear right. And let's get going. Do a brake check. Pressure 0. We can do our flight controls. Full up, full down, neutral, full right, full left, neutral, and rudder left, rudder right, neutral. So he said it was the first right after Echo 1. Wait, this is Echo 1. We gotta turn right over here. It's clear everywhere. Now, in terms of departure briefing, we are going to be departing from runway 10 confirmed, and it makes sense what we see on the ND. It will be a departure straight ahead, and then tight turn right at maximum 185 knots, so we'll keep it on selected speed. Once I clear the turn, we can put back managed, and then we'll climb as quick as possible. Initial climb is 9,000, the MSA is 8,400. We'll wait until the first turn. No, actually, I guess we can activate autopilot straight away. Yeah, 2 miles before the turn, so yeah, we can activate the autopilot straight away. Do it before takeoff checklist. Flight controls have been checked. TCAS. Again, we need to do those actions quickly. So, weather radar on, system 1, PWS auto, TCAS DARA, we do terrain on ND, and auto brake max. TCAS is TRA, load sheet has been acknowledged, trims 29.4, indicating there, N0. Departure brief has been confirmed, takeoff data from runway 10, full shift, and we have 126 blue, 129 magenta, climb nav blue, 1FT2, 9000, and flex 66. Flaps 1 plus F green, 1 blue on Mach 2, ICAM memo. Takeoff, no blue. Before takeoff to the line, complete. We received clearance, we go strobes on, landing lights on, taxi to take off, packs off, clear right and left, and nothing on the TCAS.
On runway 10.
And there we go. Brake temperature is good, below 150. Engine warm-up time, we passed the 5 minutes, so we can reset the chrono and we can finish the before takeoff checklist. Takeoff runway is 10, confirmed on the ICAM, on the signal, and on the runway we've just seen. Cabin crew signal has been given, but we'll give it now. There we are, and packs are off before takeoff checklist complete. We're good to go. Let's do this. Let's pull them up to 50%. We're stabilized, and let's go take off. Man Flex 66 SRS, auto thrust blue. $100 knots, checked. Rotate. What is it, climb? Gear up. We can go autopilot 1. Thousand feet, acceleration, altitude, wait for a positive speed trend, thrust climb, climb, auto thrust, alt blue 9000. Packs back on. And back to 1. Flap 0. Looking at this, we could have left +1 until the end of the turn. We're a bit close to the minimum speed there, but we could. Okay, out of the turn we can push for minus speed and starting to accelerate. Ground spoiler can be disarmed at this point. Lights can go off. And we can do the after takeoff climb checklist. The landing gear is up. ICAM is checked and barrel ref, but we can set it to standard. Set standard, standard set, and cross checked. Let's clear ourselves to 26. So flight level 260, alt blue 260. We have even now visualized the predicted time to flight level 260, which is 40 miles, and the expedite. There's so many things added with this last update. So we passed 10,000 feet. Altitude check is flight level 110, climbing flight level 260, standard set. Lights are off. We can... it is a little bit wobbly. There's a little bit of turbulence, but we should be okay taking the seatbelts off. On the EFIS, we put airports on my ND. Everything else is okay. ECAM, nothing particular there. And on the Mach 2 radio, everything is auto-tuned already. Proc page, we can put LSZA 01. The arrival, 100 miles only. Performance is good. Fuel prediction 4.2, and this stuff is new again. And second of flight plan, we copy the active. There we are. Yeah, the turn is going to be a lot wider than that, as we're already doing 310, so a light A319 is climbing like a rocket. Okay, top of descent is already at 64 miles, so we better start briefing for the approach straight away. We don't need the departure charts anymore. Let's go and get Lima Sierra Zulu Alpha Lugano. Okay, arrival is going to be Voghera 6 Lima. Well, approach. For the first approach, as I said, is going to be a parallel to the IGS. We will do a very similar approach, where instead of starting from Pinnick, we'll start here to the right, a couple of miles to the right. Will be visual. Once we are heading for Pinnick, we'll then avoid these mountains. But we'll need to make sure we'll be down at 4,000 instead of 6,000 by then. So here the flight plan is planning to be at Pinnick at flight level 60. So we can either code on the... We could code on the MCDU a 4000 by Pinnick. So we know that profile, the descent profile is gonna be... Let's do there. Let's put 4000. There we go. At this point, the top of descent should be closer. It's only 45 miles. Perfect. Coming around, we're about to fly on top of Genova. Okay, after that we load. What are we gonna do? Yeah, we'll keep this one. Let's load the airport. No, wrong one. What did I load? Airport parking. Perfect, fantastic. And let's have a look at the programming on the MCDU. Enter destination data. Yeah, let's do that straight away, and I will brief on the short way down. The top of descent is 35 miles, so let's go on approach base. Let's get the 80s for Lima Sierra Zulu Alpha. The QNH is going to be 1011, so we'll put it here on the standby. 1011. Temperature is 17. Wind is 020 at 11. Landing on 19 with 11 knots of tailwind on a 1,400 meters. Runway, that's going to be fun. Okay, temperature we put it already. Wind 1020 at 11. And the MDA in this case is going to be, well, we're not actually doing this procedure, but let's put an MDA of yeah, it all depends on the performance. We would have performance tables from our airline based on weight and the plane and the engines we have and so forth and so on, which we don't have. So we're just gonna put whatever, and we know that there's scattered, there's no actual ceiling for the clouds, so let's put 2600, 2920, whichever. There we go. And then for the go around, the altitude is 915, so it's going to be 1920, and engine out acceleration 19. No, the missed. Engine out acceleration, the 6000 there. Yeah, to be honest, actually, on the go around, we don't really want to do any thrust reduction here. It's a very tight turn. We need to climb as soon as possible. So let's do, when passing 5000, turn right. Let's do a 5000. Also because it's a very tight turn, which is a maximum 150 knots. So we definitely don't want to accelerate during the turn. Yeah, we'll leave 5000 actually. You know what? We'll put even 6000. 6000. There we go. Let's put already wind down to 4000 on the FCU, so we're nearly ready to descend. We can put the transponder below and the tilt of the weather radar back to 0. Okay, let's check everything is programmed correctly. And you can see 260, we're losing 4000 feet in 10, So we do the usual check of the profile, the vertical profile. Rule of 3 as usual. So we're losing 2,400 feet. So we need roughly 7.5 miles to do that, and we have 6. But we're going to be fairly fast there, so that's okay. We're losing 8,000 in 17. That seems very steep. We need to keep an eye on that. We will normally need 24. We don't seem, doesn't seem like we're gonna have a strong headwind to help us with the descent, so we need to monitor that. Then we have 6 in 25, okay, which is better. These two equate. We're losing 12 in 41, so that's fine. And then we're losing 2.7 in 16 and losing quite a lot of speed there, so that's fine. We are at 5 miles now from top of descent, so we can push. And we're gonna go on descent, alt magenta, flight level 090. Okay, and these points then, they don't count because we're gonna, as we said, we're gonna parallel. We're not actually gonna use the IGS. We'll just go visual. Oh, that's nice. All the coding for the slope is there. That's beautiful. Okay, now having looking at look at the chart. The arrival is pretty simple. Nothing particular there. Then we're gonna be at Pinnock, but we'll break off before that. So now to have an indication, we can put just to know what we're doing. We're now arriving to Olcor Bog and at Pinnock. So we shouldn't go to Pinnock, we should go just a couple of miles to the right of Pinnock. So on the last leg, when we're heading to Pinnock, a few miles before, we'll start veering off to the right. But we'll notice because we'll have a mountain just in front of us. So we'll veer to the left. We'll need to start decelerating, so we'll need to start our descent. We'll be at 4,000 feet. The altitude, the elevation of the airport is 915, so and we'll be at 4,000. So that means that we need to lose 3,100 feet. Rule of 3, if we want to do descent at 3 degrees, means that we need to multiply 3,100 by 3, so we need 9.3 miles. So on the prog page, we have LSZA, so the runway threshold 01. At 9.3 miles from there, we need to start the descent from 4,000 feet at 3 degrees, minus 3 degrees FBA. So as usual, we'll activate that 0.3 miles before that. So when we're 9.6 from Lima Sierra Zulu Alpha, so 9.6 here, we will pull a minus 3 degrees FBA descent. And we will want to be there already at flaps 2, if not flaps 3, and gear down. To be as stable as we can, as we're on FBA and we don't have an ILS guidance down. So as you can see here, higher category of aircraft might use the same procedure. Here it's talking about the, where is it? One, so straight in landing. Yeah, the final approach should be around 130 for us today. So if we go and have a look at the VUP is 127, so we're within these limitations here, so we can do this procedure. We are legal technically. Now the localizer is going to be ILU. We need that one. tune for now is we're going to keep the IGS in. We're just going to parallel. We just need to make sure that the flight plan will sequence correctly, because then we're going to do the missed approach and we want to make sure that we have the missed approach available. So we need to make sure that at all time it makes sense, the sequencing of the flight plan. Glide slope is going to start, well, this one we'll ignore it as we're doing visual. Airport elevation 915, and we set that, and the runway is 900. So yeah, we said we're losing 3,100 feet, that's correct. The MSA, that's from the airport. So we can put a fix for the MSA just to have a bit more situational awareness. Fix info, we put Lima Sierra Zulu Alpha, and we have, of course, MSA is always 25 of radius, and we have 64, which is 244 radial, and 320 there, which is 140. Perfect, so we can visualize our MSA pi here. Yeah, there we go. So we know it's 7,000. The MSA is 7,800 on our approach, and once we pass the airport, it's 13,300, and it's 9,800 within 12 miles from the airport, actually. Then in terms of missed approach, then we need to check what we're doing today. Let's see that we're okay on profile. The speed is correct. Yeah, the speed is very high. That's why we're climbing down very fast. In terms of missed approach, it's not a standard approach angle. Pub is set to 6 degrees exactly. Okay, as we go down, we see we need to make sure that we consider this one, because the puppies are set to the 6 degrees. If we go in visual at 3 degrees, the puppies will look all red a lot earlier than they should. Wow, the turbulence. Use puppy only after passing 3.7. Okay, steep approach, we need to be careful to trees below the approach path. Steep approach, no, but ours is not going to be steep. The missed approach procedure is going to be climb straight ahead to 0.7 from ILU. So we'll activate the ILS so we have the indication there. We're at 10,000 feet and it's quite rocky, so let's put the seatbelts on. Temperature is sat is 0. Let's put the engine anti-ice. And then we turn right at maximum 150. So we'll do standard missed approach procedure. So we will put missed approach flaps, thrust lever to toga, pitch up to 15, announce the FMA, which is going to be man toga, SRS, and go around track with push the heading knob straight away for nav, positive climb, gear up, and then we'll retract the flaps to 2. We'll do the turn at 150. Make sure that we have that. I don't know if it's coded already. Yeah, it's coded here at 150. Otherwise, we can just pull and do on selected speed 150. Once we turn around to 189. When passing 5,000 feet, we'll turn right and intercept the radial 017 inbound to the VOR. We are on profile with accelerating to 250. We're good. Perfect. After that, we'll come back here on the go around, and we will then switch to the localizer approach, to the different approach, which is identical to this one, but as we said, it goes down to 3,100, so it's less steep. Okay, so for now let's do this one and we do the briefing for the circling once we go around. See already the mountains there. That's where we're heading. No, actually, that's where we're heading. And this one should be Milano. Okay, 8,000, we check. Constraint will keep ILS just only and exclusively to check the distance, the DME. We'll pop this one here. We'll make sure that we're sequencing correctly the flight plan. ECAM does nothing. No more clouds, so we can turn the engine anti-ice off. The MSA was 7,800, so we've already descended below MSA, but we are visual, so we're good. We now have alt blue 4,000. Phoenix is 14 miles ahead. And that's where we're heading. I believe the IGS, yeah, the IGS flies on top of this big mountain here. And that's why you need to be at 6,000 and so steep. While we're going to parallel from the right, from on top of the lake, on top of the water. And that means that we're not gonna have to be that high. Yeah, you start the descent actually from here. Phoenix is just above this one. We're just gonna start heading right. So no, actually that's... yeah, that's the wrong side. So no, we're not gonna be descending on this side. This is this side of the lake. The lake is actually a lake that turns here. So the IGS goes on top of this ridge, while the airport is over there in that valley there. So we will fly heading towards the mouth of the lake there, and then fly on top of this one on this leg of the river. Okay, so we can activate the approach phase now. Okay, let's set the QNH 1011. Let's continue on open descent now, so we know we're gonna get quick as we can to 4,000. Activate the performance, the approach phase. Confirm the approach phase, and let's start to decelerate. Let's start breaking off. Let's go into heading and break off for the mouth of the lake there to the right. We now have alt star and we're on heading. And we have alt green, we're at 4,000. So at this point we can set the approach, the missed approach altitude, 6,000, missed approach altitude set. And let's slow down. We need to descent on a 3 degrees, so we need to lose, as we said, 3,100 feet, and we need 9.3 miles. So we check the prop page, and 9.3 will start descending. VFE next, -10, we can put flaps 1. Let's go manual. Cancel the flight directors. Activate track FPA. And deactivate autopilot. I have control. We're going manual. Let's put flaps 2 before we start the descent. We have a couple of extra decimals of miles because we're not going straight to the runway. We're doing a little bit of a zigzag. So we can start a 3 degrees descent now. Let's put gear down already. Gear is down, spoilers armed, all the lights on. Let's keep that 3 degrees going, and then we'll cross-check our descent with the altitude and distance. Let's put flaps 3. 2,500 came alive, but we're on top of terrain, so that's not going to be very relevant. We're going to aim skirting just this part of the ridge, and then we're going to aim for this village and try and keep on the left so we can align to the runway. Let's go flaps full. 6 miles, we can lose 2,000 feet, so we should be at 2,900. We're at 3,100, we need to increase a little bit. Next check we can do at 4.5, 4.5 we can lose 1.5. Airport is at 900, we should be at 2,400 at 4.5. Minimum, we're visual, we can continue. It's quite bumpy here, the speed is all over the place. So we said 4.5, we should be at 2,400. .5, 2,500, so we're good.
Speed.
Auto thrust is picking up, we're good. Let's continue 3 degrees. Very important to check that the flight plan is sequenced. And we can see it is because the white highlighted point is ahead of us. So that's the point we're flying to. 40 LOC and 40 LOC. If it was behind us, it would mean it's not sequenced. We would need to delete some waypoints here. If it's not sequenced correctly, then the plan will not pick up the missed approach procedure, the MCDU, and will not be able to fly the missed approach procedure. We were expecting the puppies to be all red. We said the puppies are set for a 6-degree slope, so we ignore those and keep going visual.
1,000.
We're now 1,000, and that means that we should be at 3 miles. We're 2.6, so we're even a tad low, but it's good. You don't want to come too steep here. We have the lake anyway, so slightly shallower is good, and you want to make sure that you aim rather than in the aiming point as far back as you can, just immediately behind the threshold. Is a very short runway. Landing checklist, we didn't do it, but we have auto brake medium. Oh, we didn't put it, we were going around, but yeah, auto brake medium, and landing. Icam landing no blue. Aim for the threshold. Be careful with the trees there.
300.
And let's pretend this random incursion, whatever. Let's go around. Go around flaps. Let's go toga.
100.
Pitch up, follow the flight directors. We have man toga, SRS, go around track. With the flight directors, positive climb. Gear up. Flaps are on 3 for now. We can push straight away the heading knob for nav. This one goes from dotted to solid. Activates autopilot. We have autopilot 1. Let's put flaps 2. We said maximum was 150. Let's check, we're not gonna do more than that. This magenta bag should go to 150 now when we pass this point. Yeah, it's good. We have, yeah, it's now 150. Perfect, so we're not gonna pass that. Lever climb. Let's put climb speed. Alt star. We already captured because it's 6,000. So with above airspeed, we can put flaps 1. No, mistake. If we put flaps 1, we're gonna increase the speed, then the constraint is not there anymore. Constraint was on the previous point, I believe. So let's stay on flaps 2. It's a tight turn anyway. And we're at 6,000. Good. The turn is gone, so we can go flaps 1. There's no speed restrictions after that. Now we can go flaps full. Flaps 0. And we're targeting green dots. Perfect. So flap 0, disarm the spoiler, turn the lights off. And now we can rebrief for the localizer approach. So let's go and get that. We don't need this one anymore. Approach, localizer 01 for circling runway 19. And we get the Foxtrot circle to land. Perfect, so the localizer procedure starts from Phoenix at 6,000, exactly the same as the IGS, but because we're going down only to the MDA for the circling, which is 3,100 here, of course it's a lot less steep. So let's start breaking off, so we need to come back to Phoenix. Well, let's go to Phoenix. We can do then a teardrop after that. Okay, so the MDA this time is going to be 3,100. So let's go on the performance page, activate the approach phase. You can actually speed up a little bit. Let's go selected speed 220. MDA 3,100. So in this case, for this approach, what we're gonna have to do is get to Phoenix. At Phoenix, before Phoenix is 9.2 DME. Here at 9.2 DME, we want to start the descent. So let's load first the procedure. So let's go flight plan. Here next to destination, let's click on it. Arrival, and we're going to do the localizer 01 Charlie, no star, no via, no transition, and we insert that. At this point, this 9.2 is this one, so the CL Charlie Lima 017. That's when we want to start our descent. $6,000 plus. No, we want to be 6,000 exactly there. The flight plan is finished, so the triple click was us reverting to heading from nav.
Altimeter setting.
Okay, and then the Phoenix will be at gear down and flaps 2. Or actually flaps 3 already. So it's 4.4, so it's very steep. We're going to be gear down and flaps 3 at F speed. And we're going to start an FBA descent. So remember, it's only a localizer approach, this one. So there is no vertical guidance. It's only lateral, only given by the localizer. So we're going to start an FBA descent at 9.2 down at minus 4.4 degrees. Of course, the usual. So we need to pull 0.3 miles. So at 9.5 DME from ILU, in this case from this DME distance, we need to start the descent. Now we fly ahead. We are within 5 miles, so we can now do a direct to Charlie Lima 017. And we can start coming back. Let's do direct to Charlie Lima 017. And we insert that. Let's start slowing down. So let's go back onto managed speed. And we start slowing down to green dots. Let's check the QNH, just in case the ATIS has changed. No, that's still the same. Let's save with a circle, Lugano circle. Let's go ready flaps 1 since we're quite close. Then as we go down on a 4.4 degrees glide slope, we'll then check the DME, the altitudes cross-check with the DME from the localizer. And then the next step after that is going to be to break off at 1.7 from BLU. Will break off, will be at 3,100. So here you can see 1.9 LU, we have the missed approach point, will be at 3,100 as explained over here. And at 1.7 DME will break off, we're going a heading of 3.3 until 3.2 from the airport. So to know that, we'll put in the progress page, instead of the threshold, we'll just put the airport. So Lima Sierra Zulu Alpha, and we'll just put that. So here we have the DME from the airport. Remember, this DME here is based on the ILU, so this, while this DME here is from airport, so it's based on this indication here. Very important, because of course they're very different. The localizer is here, the airport is from the middle of the airport. If you follow this 3.2 from the localizer, you're going to be too close to the mountains. Now we have as well remain within 4 miles from the airport, so we might want to create a fix that shows us that. We can delete this one, we're visual, we don't need all this stuff anymore. We're just going to put LSZA and we'll put 4 miles radius. Let's go flaps 2 already, so we can start slowing down. We're 4 miles from the descent, and at this point we have the 4 miles. We know that we shouldn't pass this way. Okay, so we push the localizer button now here on the FCU. So we have localizer blue, and we're going to intercept the localizer when we get to it. Next thing, we set at 9.2 plus 0.3, so at 9.5 DME. We need to start the descent at 4.4. Let's put gear down now. Spoilers out. All the lights on. Let's go flaps 3. We wait for 9.5. We can already go on track FBA. Pre-select minus 4.4 and wait for 9.5, and we pull. Lock star, we intercepted the localizer, 9.5 is coming up, and we pull the FBA. We have now FBA minus 4.4 and lock green. Can put flaps full. See how steep 4.4 is. Imagine the 6.6 that you would have with the IGS. Now we cross-check the altitude. ILU DME at 6 DME we should be at 4520.
2,500.
2,500 position check over the mountain. There's not much point doing it. Missed approach altitude is set, is 6,000. Auto brake is set medium. Let's wait for 6 miles DME and we should be at 4,520. We're not going into land, so it's not important that it's perfectly accurate, but we will level off at 3,100. Fuel we're good, we still have 3,700. 6 miles, 4,520. We are even a little low. So 6 miles with 420, so we can shallow out 3.4 for 1 mile. At 5 DME we should be 4050. Yeah, that's correct. Let's go back to 4.4. We need to level off at 3100, so we need to push the FBA knob at 3200. Ignore the magenta diamond there. That's for the IGS. Probably is picking that up. So next reference is 1.7. We break off to 033. So the first thing is going to be leveling off. So let's get ready to push the FBA knob at 3200. We push FBA 00 and we're leveling off at 3100. And then at 1.7 we'll turn
Minimum.
on a track of 033. We'll preset it there. Minimum, we're visual, we're good to land. .7 is coming up. Pull, and we have track 033. And at this point, we track the distance from the airport. So at 3.2, we'll start the turn and the descent. Here at 3.2, we need to be at 3100, and then we need to start descending. What we need to do basically is just going around this impole over here. Gonna be there and we'll go around it. We have the circle drawn. We know that that's 4 miles. So at 3.2 we start the turn. Need to make sure that we avoid this one when we go down, so we might have to go a little bit further there. Because this one is aligned with the runway, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the runway points at the middle of this one, so we might have to go a little, not exactly like it says here, we might have to go a little bit closer to this side of the mountain. Okay, let's, we don't need the ILS anymore, so we can cancel that, we can cancel the flight directors. We are on track FBA, we have the bird. The final we need to do is 197. Deactivate autopilot, let's go manual, I have control. Arriving at 3.2. And we can start the turn, and we can start descending. Let's select 197 here. Let's keep it 3 degrees. We haven't passed beyond the 4 miles limit, so we're good. motorway is a good indication because that's where it merges then practically with the runway there. 2 red, 2 white. I don't know at what degrees that's set, but well, it looks good from here. Get it down, flaps are full, we're all good, and from here just go visual.
Terrain, terrain. Terrain, terrain.
Approaching 191,000 meters. Available.
500. 400.
Caution. Short runway. Short runway.
300.
Here we're not gonna go for finesse. We're just gonna plonk it down.
200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
900 remaining.
Reverse a green. Diesel. Manual braking. Reverse idle. Wasn't too bad. Reverse stowed. And let's go and backtrack. Welcome to Lugano.
On runway 01.
Now we can start the APU as there's virtually no taxiing to be done. And it looks like they reduced this one to 3 seconds instead of 5 finally. Ground spoiler disarmed, flaps up. Weather radar can go off. We'll vacate here on the left. Transponder to exponder. Strobe light off. Landing lights off. And let's see, where are we gonna park? Not much space for an A319, but let's go that way. After landing checklist, exterior lights are set, correct? Flaps are 0. Ground spoiler is disarmed. APU is started, radar is off, PWS is off, and TCAS is exponder showing standby. Wheels at, well, it brakes at 300 degrees. Let's get brake fan going. Yeah, I really doubt big aircraft will land here. Turn all the lights off. Accumulator pressure is in the green, so we're good with the parking brake. And there we are. APU is available. It's available. Engines off to N1. Cockpit door unlocked. Seatbelts off. Beacon off. Fuel pumps off. And transponder 2000. And a standby parking checklist. We have parking brake is on. Engines are off. The slides are disarmed. Beacon is off. Seatbelt is off. Fuel pumps 6 off. And TCAS 2000 standby. We have made it. Here in the beautiful Lugano. There we are. That was a really, really nice approach. I hope you guys have enjoyed it and hope you'll be able to reproduce it, whether one or the other approach or both at the same time with the go around, which is definitely the best way to do it. And if you have any questions, please do let me know, or any suggestion. If you know anything more about Lugano that I couldn't find, whether Airbuses or Airby at any point landed in there, let me know. And but as usual, thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked the approach and you want to have some more material. I've gone back to work now after furlough because of COVID, so it will be a bit more sluggish coming out with videos, but I'll try once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks to get one out. But let's go and have a look at the replays and for both approaches. But I'll say bye now, and hopefully I'll see you on to the next flight. Thank you very much again, and bye now.